Okay, so we're going to look at a sequence that starts from the guard, where I'm using my feet on his hips and movement of my hips as I manipulate his arm to get a good position to go for a finish. Earlier in the week we were looking at a situation where, and this starts in the same place, where he's in my guard is closed, his head is down, he has to get his head up and then get his posture. As he's doing this, I move out, my hips out to the side, and he immediately goes to attack the side that's down. All right, my hips are out this side, my right leg is a little lower. He's going to start to push that knee, and what he wants to do is go ahead and pass. All right, so that's smart. That's a good thing for him to do. And so what I'm going to do is anticipate that. So once he backed away and I move here, I expect him to attack that, and I'm going to immediately grab the wrist and grab the elbow, pull it free, and move my hips to the other side. So I'm pulling on this arm with both arms as I move my hips to the other side. Now I can sit up and lock on this arm like an arm drag and grab his lat. And from here we can, of course, put the foot inside, so that climb on the back, or I can work several sweeps. All right, I can insert my foot and elevate him over, etc. So these are other options that come up just because I repositioned my hips and I've got this outside position of his arm. We're going to take it a little different direction though, because that outside position of the arm also gives me the arm itself. It gives me options to finish against the arm. So we're here again, and Leo gets his head free, and then he gets his posture, he backs away, he goes to push on the knee, and I grab that wrist, and I grab his elbow, and two things happen at once. My feet are on his hips. I'm going to pull the arm free as I slide my hips to the other side. All right? So you notice this kind of motion here. Then I can hook the arm. My foot is still pushing on his hip, which is extending this arm. And then I slide my shoulder away and I start to raise my hips up. I can even just do it with my arm hooking it. I don't even have to grab it. Is your arm okay? Okay. So the foot on the hip is key because that's what elongates this arm. Pushes, extends his arm. If my foot is off of his hip, then as I step over, he can drive into me, and then opens up another can of worms where I'll be past his head, he drives into me, and then I'll have to try to set him into a roll that way and get the arm. So keeping your foot on his hip prevents that because it keeps his hips back and he can't drive into you and stack you and force you to turn over. So it's an important detail to remember. That's really important. This leg on that hip extends this arm. Okay, so it's all based on momentary anticipation of what is to come, because in here, I know he's going to get posture. I know he's going to push him back up. I know he's going to try to push on this. So I'm waiting, I'm ready for that. I grab it, I move my hips out. I pull this so far across that I can hook under it. And notice what I'm doing is I'm clamping it to my body. It's very hard for him to pull that out. Yeah, it's very tight. All right? That's actually different from trying to grab it like this, where he can pull it. It's like a tug of war. But this is connecting it to my chest. It's very tight, you can feel it. And I can stretch it out and let it go to almost to the wrist. My foot is on his hip, and as the shoulder slides away, my hip comes up, and I've got him. It's all hip and leg work, really. Okay. So let's go ahead and start with that one with our partner. It's going to go some other places.